Dear student, welcome to my online maths class. Today I am going to explain some important properties of quadrilateral one by one, and it is my request to all of you. You can write down all these properties so that later on you can study it. So let us start with the quadrilateral. First one as square. Square. We will start from square. So before writing the properties, let me draw the figure. So let ABCD be the square, and we'll draw the diagonals. Diagonals as AC and BD. So as we know that in a quadrilateral, two diagonals are there. So in square also here the diagonals are AC and BD. So as the first property, we can write the four sides are equal in measure. So in square, the first property I have written, the four sides are equal in measure. Then number two, we can write the diagonals are equal in measure. Then number three, we can write each angle is 90 degree. It means all the four angles are equal in measure and it is 90 degree. Then number four, the diagonals bisect each other at right angles. It means this angle 90 degree, that one also 90, 90 and 90. All the four angles created by intersecting the diagonals are 90 degree each. So these are the four main, you can say, the major property of a square. Some other property also there, but you can remember only these four property. Now we'll write the next one. So let me write it. After square, then we'll write now rectangle. So here we'll write number two, rectangles. Rectangle. Then we'll write property number one. Before writing the property, let me draw a rectangle and let it be A, B, C, D, and we'll draw the diagonal also. So let AC and BD be the diagonals and ABCD the rectangle. So as a first property, we can write opposite sides are equal in measure. You can write, or we can write directly opposite sides are equal. So it means that AB is equal to CD or DC and BC is equal to AD. So opposite sides are equal. In number two, we can write each angle is 90 degree. So like square, here also in case of rectangle, each angle is 90 degree. Number 3, the diagonals are equal. So here also the diagonals AC and BD, they are equal in measure in case of rectangle. Then number 4, the diagonals bisect each other. Bisect each other. It means if, let it be O, then if O is the point of intersection of the two diagonals AC and BD, then according to this property, it is written the diagonals bisect each other. It means that OA is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. So this is called bisection. Now, rectangle, we have written 4 properties of rectangle. Now we'll write as number 3, rhombus. Rhombus, property number 1. Before writing the property, let me draw the figure of a rhombus. So let AB, CD be the rhombus along with the diagonal. So let AC and BD be the diagonals. So in rhombus, the 4 sides are equal. Equal in measure you can write, or you can write the 4 sides are equal. So one similarity is there with square. In case of rhombus also the 4 sides are equal. Number 2, opposite angles are equal. So opposite angles are equal. It means angle D is equal to angle B and angle A is equal to angle C. Number 3, the diagonals bisect each other at right angles. So it is also like square. The diagonals bisect each other at right angles. It means this is 90 degree, all are 90 degree. So this is one of the important property of a rhombus. Number 4. In number 4 we can write the sum of any two adjacent angles is supplementary. So what is the measure of supplementary angle? It is 180 degree. It means here it is written the sum of any two adjacent. So angle A, angle D is adjacent, angle D and C adjacent, C and B also adjacent, or angle A and B is adjacent. It means angle A plus D 180. If we take D and C also 180, C and B also 180, A and B together is 180 degree. So these are the 4 important property of a rhombus. Now we'll write the 4th one, which is a parallelogram. So we'll write now parallelogram. So before writing the property, let me draw the figure of a parallelogram. So let ABCD be the parallelogram. So let me draw the diagonals. So here diagonals are AC and BD. Now in the first property we can write the opposite sides are equal and parallel. Or we can write two pair of opposite sides are parallel. Or we can write the opposite sides are equal and parallel. Number 2, the sum of so that one we'll write later on. Before we can write opposite angles are equal. So it is also like rhombus. Opposite angles are equal. It means angle A is equal to angle C, angle B is equal to angle D. Number 3, the diagonals bisect each other but not at right angles. It may not be at right angles. So diagonals bisect each other. So in the similar way, if the point of intersection is O, then OA is equal to OC and OB is equal to OD. Now number 4, the sum of any two adjacent angles is supplementary. So it is also like rhombus. The sum of any two adjacent angles is supplementary, means A plus D equal to 180, A plus B 180, B plus C 180, or D plus C is 180 degree. So these are the 4 important properties of a parallelogram. Now we are going to the next quadrilateral, so which is number 5, and it is trapezium. So before writing the property, let me draw a trapezium. Let ABCD be the trapezium, and let me draw the diagonals. So before writing the property, one thing I want to tell you that trapeziums are also 2 types. So this is a simple trapezium, but another trapezium which is called isosceles trapezium. In case of isosceles trapezium, mean these two sides are equal and one pair of opposite sides are parallel. So in the definition, I already told you in my previous video. In the definition, it is written one pair of opposite sides are parallel. So this is the definition of a trapezium. So we can write the property one pair of opposite sides are parallel. So from this property we can understand that one pair. In my figure, here AB is parallel to DC and BC is not parallel to AD. So it is not necessarily required to be parallel. So if it is parallel also does not matter, but in trapezium at least one pair of opposite sides must be parallel. So here it is written one pair, two pair is not needed. So number 2, in case of property number 2, we can write the sum of two pair of adjacent angles are supplementary. It means in case of that, this is one pair, this is another pair. When sum of A and D is 180 and sum of B and C is 180. But sum of A and C, it may not be 180 degree, and sum of D and C, it may not be 180 degree. So it is written the sum of two pair of adjacent angles are supplementary. Number 3, the opposite angles are not necessarily equal. It means opposite angles may be equal or may not be equal. Number 4, the diagonals are not necessarily equal. It means the diagonals also may not be equal. It may be equal, it may not be equal. If it is not equal also, so it does not matter in case of a trapezium. So these are the 4 important properties of a trapezium. Now we are going to the last one, which is a kite. So 6 number 1 is kite. As you familiar about the kite, which we used to fly in the air. So this is the kite, and you are also familiar about the shape of a kite. So let me draw a kite. So let ABCD be the kite. So this is the figure of a kite. So from this figure also we can see that these two sides are equal in measure and these two sides are equal. So in case of property number 1, we can write two pairs of adjacent sides are equal. So here AD is equal to AB and DC is equal to BC. Number 2, one pair of opposite angles are equal. So from this figure we see that these two angles are equal. These two A and C may not be equal, but angle D always equal to angle B. So it is written one pair of opposite angles are equal. Number 3, actually in case of kite, we can see the two diagonals AC and BD. AC is called longer diagonal and BD is called shorter diagonal. So here we can see this part. If the point of intersection is O of the two diagonals, then it is clear that OD is equal to OB, but OA is not equal to OC. So we can write, before writing, let me write the two diagonals. Two diagonals intersect each other at right angles. So here I want to tell you that here it is written intersect. Why it is written intersect? But in other cases I have written it is bisect. But here it is written intersect. It means that these two parts are equal, but these two parts are not equal. So we cannot write bisect. Bisect means dividing in two equal halves. So here it is written intersect, and here also written right angles. It means that it is 90-degree. Diagonals formed 4 right angles here. So each angle is 90-degree. And in case of 4, we can write the longer diagonal bisect the shorter diagonal. So we can see that the longer diagonal means AC. So it divide it into equal parts. So we can write the longer diagonal bisect the shorter diagonal DB. It means OD is equal to OB. So these are the 4 properties of a kite. Now, before finished my video, I want to tell you that one more property is there which is common to all quadrilateral, and it is that the sum of all the 4 angles gives us 360-degree. So in case of triangle, we see that it is the sum of 3 angles is 180-degree. But in case of any type of quadrilateral, the sum of the 4 angles is always 360-degree. So that one you can remember, and as a 5th property you can write it also. I have not written why, because it is common to all these quadrilateral. So I think you can understand. So in my next video I'll discuss about the circle. Thank you all.